As a child of the 80s, I hold a special place in my heart for the Back to the Future trilogy. The movies have been a constant source of entertainment and nostalgia for me ever since I first saw them on VHS. Remember those? One thing that always strikes me about these films is how they manage to weave together such a rich tapestry of humor, heart, and adventure. Uh, the Back to the Future movie series, created by Robert Zemeckis, is known for its recurring humor elements that appear throughout the trilogy. These jokes take various forms, such as similar scenarios and dialogue, or even direct parodies of popular culture references. No matter how they're presented, these recurring jokes share a common trait. They consistently entertain viewers. Uh, in each of the three movies, certain jokes that return multiple times are noticeable right away, while others become clearer after repeated viewings. Uh, the trilogy is filled with subtle details and hidden references, making it easy to overlook all the recurring humor on the first watch. The running gags in the Back to the Future series significantly contribute to its enduring appeal, adding another accolade to this beloved sci-fi franchise that consistently delivers heartwarming fun. Um, it even 10 chicken, a callback to spaghetti westerns. One classic joke in the movie Back to the Future often involves main character Marty McFly getting drawn into situations that could potentially cost him dearly, after being labeled a coward or chicken. And This usually happens when a Tannen tries to manipulate his pride. And though this gag is only present in part two and part three, it's arguably the most well-known recurring joke throughout the entire Back to the Future science fiction saga. The music becomes more intense, and Marty responds with over-the-top reactions every time. The show cleverly employs a childish joke at these moments to simultaneously pay tribute to classic spaghetti westerns, like A Fistful of Dollars by Sergio Leone. In part three, Buford Tannen changes things up by calling Marty a derogatory term. But the impact on Michael J. Marty, Fox's character, and the unique way the scene is filmed stays consistent. Nine, Biff, and Manure, Tannen's unfortunate habit, alongside their tendency to address others as idiots and a peculiar knack for twisting idioms, it appears that Biff and his kin have a regrettable propensity for being followed by muck wherever they roam. One of the series' most cherished recurring jokes in the Back to the Future films is that a Tannen character gets smeared with manure in every installment, usually due to Marty McFly and Doc Brown's antics. In the initial two movies of the series, Biff meets an embarrassing end by getting trapped under a heap of manure after he collides his car with a manure truck twice while trying to chase Marty. Um, Later in the third installment, Michael J. Fox's character knocks out Buford Tannen and pushes him into a cart filled with manure. The Tannen's amusing exclamations of, "I hate manure," I serve as the perfect finishing touch for one of the series' funniest jokes. And at Hey McFly, Marty never actually gets his drink. In the three movies, it's consistently the case that Marty McFly doesn't manage to finish the drink he orders upon arriving in town when he time travels. The running joke here is that a large cannon and his boisterous companions frequently disrupt the cafe or saloon where Marty is, rudely cutting off his drink by shouting words that go onto this field. And in the trio of films, Marty is unable to savor the drinks he orders due to various tannin interventions throughout different time periods. The franchise's infamous tannin family makes a seamless appearance across all three movies, with the threatening still causing a chuckle, and it would be ready for not to scale. Doc's array of intricate models. In the movie Back to the Future, there's a recurring gag involving Doc Brown, the quirky scientist, using elaborate miniature models to explain time travel ideas to Marty. These models, though crudely presented, are incredibly detailed. Throughout the film, Doc Brown repeatedly asks for Marty's understanding of these models' limitations, acknowledging that they are neither accurate in size nor painted to perfection. In the movies Back to the Future and its sequel, Back to the Future Part 3, Doc shows Marty how they will capture the lightning bolt from the clock tower in 1955 and reach 88 miles per hour with a speeding train in 1885 using the DeLorean. This comedic scene, easy to miss, showcases Doc's unique quirks and eccentricity, making it a delightful moment for viewers. Six Biff getting knocked out. Tannen's propensity for involuntary unconsciousness. As a dedicated cinema enthusiast, let me tell you, like, my personal favorite moment across all three Back to the Future movies is when Thomas F. Wilson's character, the hilarious bully, gets cold cocked and knocks himself out more times than I can count. In the initial movie of the series, George McFly, played by Crispin Glover, beats up Biff. Well, in the sequel, Doc knocks him out using the DeLorean door. Marty completed this trend by defeating Mad Dog Tannen in the final episode, ensuring a hat trick of satisfying scenes against the main antagonist. Interestingly, the defeated Mad Dog ended up rolling into a nearby cart filled with manure, which is a recurring joke in the franchise. 5, safe and sound. A sure sign that things are not. In all three movies of the Back to the Future series, it becomes clear that something is amiss when Marty McFly wakes up in darkness to hear Leah Thompson's character saying, "You're safe and sound." And this phrase is always followed by a sentence, confirming that Marty wasn't dreaming after being knocked unconscious. Upon learning a location, Michael J., Fox's character Marty is jolted into complete awareness due to the surprising revelation. And one iconic catchphrase from this franchise is Marty's question, "Mom, is that you?" Which is often followed by Thompson's character switching on a light when Marty realizes who she is. This recurring joke sets up a situation where McFly encounters multiple versions of his mother and her family members in various time periods and locations across 3 movies, leaving him frequently horrified. Whoa, Biff, what's that? Look over there. In my opinion, throughout the Back to the Future trilogy, I often find myself in a predicament where a tannin of some sort has me cornered. In these instances, Marty McFly, with his quick wit and cunning, employs one of the franchise's most hilarious recurring jokes. He feigns surprise by pointing out something behind him and shouting, "What's that?" It's a classic distraction technique, but it always manages to throw Biff and his cronies off guard. Uh, um, in the movie Back to the Future, Marty occasionally manages to land a hit effectively, such as when he successfully distracts Tannen and lands a punch in the first part at 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 new goals back into a slides part when however, in the second part, Biff catches the punch due to his mechanical enhancements, and in the third part, Buford Tannen's quick reflexes prevent Marty from landing a hit. Despite these variations, the humor of watching multiple versions of Biff being deceived by an old trick remains consistent throughout. Um, and Theo fact to all right, punk. All right. In the world of Back to the Future, it's clear that the Tannen clan isn't particularly bright, but they sure know how to hold their own physically. For instance, Biff, a towering figure who usually looms over everyone else, dwarfs Marty in size, and his grandson, Griff, and great-grandfather Buford Mad Dog Tannen from the sequels Back to the Future Part 2 and Part 3 share similar imposing physiques. Uh, the contrast in their vastly different body sizes serves as a recurring humorous gag throughout the series. Frequently, when Marty confronts the various versions of Thomas F. Wilson's adversary, the already imposing cannon grows even larger, becoming so massive that McFly becomes invisible to the eye. And Griff expands beyond his grandfather's size in 1955 due to his mechanical modifications. Two bulletproof vests, channeling Clint Eastwood in the film Back to the Future, directed by Robert Zemeckis, the 1964 movie A Fistful of Dollars by Sergio Leone, starring Clint Eastwood, plays a significant role. This spaghetti western has had a substantial impact on Zemeckis's work, particularly as a source for a recurring joke. The joke revolves around the bulletproof vest, which is frequently used in the Back to the Future series. The running gag first appears in where Doc uses a bulletproof vest to survive the Libyans' attack at the end of the movie. A sequence depicting Eastwood's character using a piece of metal as a bulletproof vest is then shown in to directly foreshadow Marty using the same technique in To Survive. His duel with Buford Tannen, that is, setting up some of the franchise's most notably feel-good moments. The bulletproof vest numbers among most beloved, but you can be separating. You can and reactive on the same thing, just to see McFly's tendency to arrive as an unwelcome visitor. In the Back to the Future series, Marty McFly, played by Michael J. Fox, has earned a bit of an unwanted reputation due to his frequent and unexpected visits to people's homes. A recurring joke throughout the series is that Marty often unintentionally crashes parties or enters homes without invitation, causing quite a stir. The unfortunate hosts, infuriated by this intrusion, typically chase him off with some of the least welcoming receptions one could imagine, leaving poor Marty bewildered and on edge. In the third part of the series, director Robert Zemeckis escalates the recurring joke from earlier parts where characters chase Marty. This time, instead of angry residents armed with guns and baseball bats, it's a ferocious grizzly bear that chases him away. The bear becomes enraged when Marty, in an attempt to travel back in time to the Old West, crashes the DeLorean into its cave,